In and out of 52nd Street as you were, you must have seen quite a lot of Tatum play live.
Well, I did in one period when I was at the beginning of my career, and he was in the full flowering of his. I was lucky enough to be able to play opposite him. I was playing in the dance band at a club called Cafe Society, and he was the featured artist. He was a very nice man, in addition to being a very great pianist. He was very kind. And they say he could listen by the hour to other pianists just because he said each of them had a story to tell. Nice way of putting it.
Well, we've taken the story of stride piano to a sort of unrepeatable climax. Now, what were the other routes available out of ragtime?
Well, the way I see it, there was another strand, another historical strand, which was several pianists who played more orchestrally, who added to their pianistic technique the sounds of a trombone or trumpet or clarinet of the New Orleans band. And the foremost of these was the Jelly Roll Morton, who you could say was a crossover figure between ragtime and traditional jazz piano. And you could hear trombone in his left hand and sometimes little clarinet figures in his right, and a trumpet at all times. And I think I can illustrate that with a piece of his called Shreveport Stomp, just a little bit. In that fashion, he would play the trombone figures and the trumpet and little of the clarinet there.
But the chordal resolution of what you just played at the end of that second theme is extremely odd, isn't it?
Oh, it took me years to believe that. Yes, it is. It was a... I still don't believe it, but it works. It works.
People are fond of saying that Morton sort of summed up what went before him and didn't really pass anything on. Do you think that's true, or did he influence people?
Well, I think that he influenced Earl Hines. I'm not sure that Earl Hines would have admitted it, but it seemed to me that when Hines played his so-called trumpet style, which was really a pianistic equivalent of Louis Armstrong's playing, that it was quite a bit in the Morton manner. Morton had done something like that. Hines went farther, and he played like Armstrong in this fashion. He mostly played in octaves, and when he wanted to give a pianistic impression of the quaver, of the vibrato of Armstrong, about the only thing you can do on a piano is a little shake like that. So then Hines also added a couple of things which were of interest to his successor, but we'll come to that in a minute. Anyhow, Hines would play his Monday date like... So I think that, that's all right. I think that Hines, in a way, was another one of those pianists who was exploring the jazz equivalents, the pianistic equivalents to orchestral instruments. But he did add, in addition, he added this walking 10th bass, which was very quickly assimilated by Teddy Wilson.
Yeah.
And in fact, my understanding of it is that Teddy played very much like Earl Hines at the beginning, but he thinned it down. He would be more interested in playing, let's say, not like a trumpet, but like a clarinet, perhaps, which is why he fit in so beautifully with Benny Goodman in the early combos. Teddy also adapted some of those little break-the-tempo runs that Hines had done, which were in a way setting the stage for Art Tatum a little bit later. So Teddy's elegant playing sounds something like...
Somewhere between Hines and Wilson is what I'd love to play if I had any sort of technique at all. But not only do I not have the technique, I haven't got the hands. You've really got to have a stretch of a tenth, haven't you? So you can do that walking tenth upwards.
Well, it certainly helps to be able to do that, but I don't know if it's the size of the hand so much as the flexion, how much you can stretch out. We could work on your hand a bit. Maybe special equipment.
Tread on it, yes, you'll improve it. Now, there's one sort of oddball character before we leave the 20s, and that's Bix Beiderbecke. Does he have anything to do with these surrounding activities?
Well, I think so. Bix Beiderbecke, of course, was better known as a cornetist, but he was a marvelous pianist, and he was a great composer of jazz compositions, which stretched out harmonically in ways that people hadn't been able to think before. In the jazz part of his playing, he, I think, was a little bit like Earl Hines, sort of octaves and walking tenths. Let me play you a piece of his that illustrates both his wonderful harmonic exploration and his jazzy piano style. This is the well-known In a Mist, Bix Beiderbecke.